everyone, my name is Claire and today we have a yoga for the hips practice. So this is a great practice if you sit down a lot, so if you work at an office or in a desk, if you drive a lot, or just the hips can sometimes be this place where we kind of hold some intense sensations, and so doing a practice that's targeted toward the hips just can help us to release some of those feelings and even sometimes some of those emotions too. So we're gonna get started by coming into all fours. So find your way, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. And we'll just start with some cat-cows. So when you're ready, inhale, sway your belly, look forward. On your exhale, scoop your belly, round your back and drop your head. And just keep going like this. Inhale, belly sways, look forward. Exhale, back rounds, head drops. So just moving here, finding a little warm up for the spine. And just do one more cycle. And then from here, we're gonna come back into our long spine. And we're gonna just start by opening up the hips a little bit. So you can lift one knee up. We're just gonna draw some gentle circles. So it doesn't have to be really big, they could just be little circles. Just kind of starting to open things up. Maybe go a little slower than you think you should go. And then when you're ready, reverse directions. You might hear some noises, a few little hip pops or something, that's okay, just as long as there's no sharp pain. And just do one more on this side. Drop the knee down and switch to the other side. So coming into some circles, opening things up. Keep pressing down into the mat to have a bit of a lift through the upper back. And switch directions. You can kind of explore. If you find that you get stuck in one place, like one place feels kind of good to hang out there, you can hang out and just kind of see if you can loosen it up a little bit. And then we'll drop the knee down. From here, we'll bring the big toes together, knees come wide. Child's pose. Sink the hips back, arms reach forward. Let the forehead come down to the mat. Take a couple of breaths here. Just a beautiful pose to open through the hips, but also let the heart melt toward the floor. Breathing deep. Good, just one more breath in. One more breath out. And then clawing through the hands. Little lift back up to your tabletop. Knees come underneath the hips. And from here, in your tabletop, we're gonna extend the right knee back and then bring it all the way up and in for a low lunge. So the right knee is gonna come forward, right knee over the right ankle. And if you need a little more support underneath the back knee, you could roll your mat over or grab a little prop or a pillow. Nice, just let your hips get a little bit heavy here. Let your heart lift forward. See if you can draw your shoulder blades together on your back. Good. Taking a couple of breaths. And then you can walk your right foot over to the right even more and bring both hands on the inside. So maybe try this out. If it doesn't work, that's cool. But this can be a really nice little option to get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Good, then when you're ready, start to shift your hips back in space, straighten the front leg. Or maybe there's still a bend like me, that's okay too. Find a nice long spine here. Inhale, so just getting a little stretch through the hamstring. And then exhale, melt your heart down, round through the spine. Take a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, next inhale, roll forward onto your right foot. And with control, just gently bringing the right knee back, hands underneath the shoulders, and we'll go into the second side. So left leg shoots back, scoop the left knee forward, low lunge, second side. Maybe you walk the right knee back a little bit here, letting the hips melt down, but we're not just dumping our weight down into the hips because then we can kind of overstretch. So we want to just find a little bit of lift through the heart. Good, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Long through the back of the neck, one more inhale. And then if you like, take that variation, walk the left foot over to the left, bring both hands on the inside. See if that creates a little more room. You can even bring your palms to the floor if your fingertips were holding you up previously. Good, full breath in. Full breath out. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then start to shift the hips back. Toes come toward the sky. Inhale, nice long spine. And then exhale, mounting forward over that front leg. Feeling that stretch in the back of the left leg. Don't worry if you've got a nice little bend in that knee, it's fine. Good, one more breath in. One more breath out, and then rolling forward. And gently bringing the left knee back. Maybe we'll just take a couple little hip circles here, so you can just circle the hips one way and the other. You can just explore, don't worry about feeling silly. And then when you're ready, just tuck your toes, and we're gonna take a downward dog. So hips lift toward the sky. Feel free to have a generous bend in the knees. You can walk out your dog a little bit if that feels good. And then just let your heels get heavy, heart melts back. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. And then look forward to your hands. Just gently walk your feet to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Take a breath in. And breath out. And then we'll slowly roll up. Rolling all the way up. And big stretch up overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Okay, from here, we're going to keep the right foot forward and step the left foot all the way back for warrior two. So this is a nice long stance. Right knee is bent. And your feet are on the tightrope. So the back foot and the front foot make like a T shape. Arms can extend out to the sides. And just breathe here. Notice your breath. Notice the sensation of your feet on the floor. You can even lift those right toes to really just like feel how the four corners of your right foot connect to the floor. Good, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Maybe you can even sink a little bit lower into that right hip, just keeping the right knee above the right ankle. Good, one more breath in. One more breath out. Now straighten the front leg, drop your arms. We're gonna scissor the feet in a little bit. We're gonna keep them a little bit wider than hip width apart, and we're gonna turn the feet out 45 degrees, so coming into our goddess pose. So you can bend your knees, knees to make sure they're moving in the same direction as your toes. And then from here, you can stay here, hands on the hips, or bring the elbows in line with the shoulders for full goddess. So just keep breathing here. Maybe you can sink a little bit lower on the exhales, maybe not, that's okay. Again, you can try lifting all 10 toes here. And when you do that, you really feel that connection with the four corners of both feet. Good, you can softly drop the toes down. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Okay, here's the best part. Inhale, straighten your legs, reach up, big stretch. And release the arms down. Nice, okay, let's come into the warrior two on the second side. So this time the left toes turn out. Right foot stays pointed toward the long edge of your mat. We're gonna extend the arms out long, looking over the left hand. Breathing here. Notice if your shoulders are creeping up by your ears, just see if you can soften them down a little bit. Gliding the shoulder blades together on your back, and you can even draw your pinky fingers back in space a little. Good, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Two more, inhale. Exhale. Last one in. Last one out. Now straighten the front leg, arms drop. We're gonna come back to that goddess pose. So turning the left foot in, again, bringing your feet back out to that 45-degree angle. We're gonna bend the knees, sink the hips down. And you can even move a little bit side to side, just kind of like moving, getting a little more fluidity into the hips. We hold a lot of tension in here, so it can feel nice to do something kind of silly and fun. And then maybe adding the arms, keeping energy through the fingertips. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. One more inhale here. One more exhale, sink a little bit lower. Woo! Okay, big breath, reach up. And then release your arms. Nice, scissor the feet in. Bring them underneath your hip points. Just bring the hands to the hips. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Okay, so we're gonna do the standing pigeon here. So this is a great option just to create a little bit of stretch through those outer hips that can end up getting really tight. So we're gonna start in a chair pose. So in the chair, we sit down, imagining that we've got a little chair and we're kind of perched on or behind us. Hands can come into the heart. And again, same thing we've been practicing. Try lifting the toes here to shift your weight into your heels. Nice, take a breath in. Take a breath out. And you can drop the toes back down, but just start to peel the right heel up, letting the balance come into the left foot. And then from here, you could stay here, or maybe start to float the right foot up and rest it on top of the left knee. So find a spot to stare at straight ahead. Sink your hips back in space. So this should hopefully feel like a really nice stretch in the right outer hip. If you need the wall, hands on the wall is totally fine. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Now keep the right foot flexed here. So this is really important to protect the right knee. You can even bring one hand to your knee, one hand to your ankle if you feel like you want to go a little bit lower. Good, one more breath in. One more breath out. And then inhale, lift up. Drop the right foot down. Just shake it out a little bit. Maybe do a couple hip circles, bending your knees. And then we'll come into the second side. So same thing, chair pose to start, hips go way back. Then when you're ready, peel the left heel up, float the left foot up, and rest the left ankle on top of the right knee. Just sinking down here. Keep breathing. Maybe going a little bit deeper if you have an invitation to do so. Good, take one more breath in. One more breath out. And And inhale, lifting up with control and releasing that foot down. Again, you can bend the knees, do some hip circles to release the low back and the hips. And then we'll come into our last standing pose here. So this is going to be the tree pose. So left foot stays down. Right foot comes up maybe to your inner ankle, inner calf, or inner thigh, wherever you practice. Hands can come into the heart. And just find that gazing point, something to look at that doesn't move. You could keep your hands here, or maybe reaching them up toward the sky. Lots of breath. Letting the right knee open toward the right. And if you wobble and fall, that's okay. It's just yoga. You can come back in. Get one more breath in. And then gently, with control, releasing. We're going to switch sides. This time, right foot down, left foot up. Wherever that left foot wants to go. Try to find a little engagement through the core. Letting the tailbone drop down behind you. And maybe reaching the arms up if that feels good. Try to let the shoulders melt down. Again, the wall is always there if you need it. Good, letting that left hip open up a little more. One more breath in. And then on your exhale, softly release. Dropping the left foot down. Good, let's just take a big breath in, reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart. One more breath in. And a breath out. Okay, let's come to sit down on the mat. Okay, so once you're down on your mat, we'll come into a butterfly pose. So the feet come together, knees and legs make a diamond formation. You can bring your hands to your shins, your ankles, your feet, whatever you can reach. And we'll just take a few breaths here. You can roll your shoulders up, back and down. Let the thighs get heavy and maybe close the eyes. Just taking a couple of breaths, letting the spine be light and tall. Letting the knees and the thighs drop down just a little bit. Good. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We're just going to bring the knees together, feet on the floor. We'll just do a few windshield wipers here. So just bringing the knees side to side. Bonus, you get a little butt massage while you're here. So this is just to release tension in the low back and get a little movement through the hips. And then when you're ready, we'll come to lay down. And you can bring the knees in, give them a little squeeze. You can roll side to side. Or bring the knees as wide as your shoulders. And then we'll let the knees fall all the way over to the right, arms out in a T pose or a cactus pose. And you can look over the left shoulder here, just coming into a nice reclined twist. If you want to go a little deeper, you can bring the right hand on top of the left thigh just to kind of put a little weight here. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. One more inhale. And exhale. And then come back up to center. And let them fall on over to the other side. This time, left hand on top of the right knee, looking out over the right shoulder. Really getting heavy on the mat here. Cooling things down. And just one more breath in. And a breath out. And then you can come back to center. Bring the knees in. Maybe one last squeeze. Ugh. And then we'll let them go long on the mat for Shavasana. So coming into a comfortable position. Arms could rest by your sides. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe drawing your shoulders together underneath you a little bit. Really letting the mat just hold you here. You are supported. You are loved. If you can hang out here for a little while longer, then great. But if you have to get going with your day, you can bring your hands into your heart. Thank you for taking the time for yourself. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.